Did you know that in Baby in Yellow, if you place a turkey in the oven, it will cook? So far, so normal. Well, my oven doesn't fire food at me, but you get what I mean. Anyway, if you place the turkey in the oven for a second time, this will happen. So the oven will burp before spitting the turkey back out. And judging by what's left of the turkey, I think it's safe to say that the oven ate our dinner. Hello and welcome to Hidden Video Game Details, the series that aims to show you the things that you may have missed in your favourite games so that you can look really clever in front of a spring roll. Leaving a like is always a really cool thing to do, and at the time of recording we are 90,000 subscribers away from 1 million. So if you haven't already, please click subscribe, because hitting 1 million subscribers without any major controversy has to be some sort of YouTube record. Anyway, without further delay, let's get started. Now, a lot of the things that I share on this channel are suggested by you guys. You'll recommend something interesting, I'll go and check it out, and 9 times out of 10, I'll agree that it's cool and it will end up in a video. Well, sometimes some of your suggestions just don't work. But instead of just chalking it up as bad information, I want to make sure that I'm not the one making a mistake. A couple of months ago, I shared a detail from Left 4 Dead 2, where construction worker zombies that wore ear protectors wouldn't be able to hear the sound of pipe bombs. It was then that someone commented that the same detail could be found in GTA 5. So I went to a construction site and put that theory to the test. So, unless I'm doing something wrong, the 2 workers wearing ear protectors definitely heard the shot and started running. I mean, I aimed the gun away from the pair and made sure to stand behind them, so I don't think they saw the shot. So the first detail of this Hidden Details video isn't a detail. That is, unless I've made a mistake. As always, let me know in the comments. Up next is Death and Taxes. Death and Taxes is a game where you play as the Grim Reaper, and therefore have to decide who lives and who dies. Now at first, this is pretty simple. There are obvious good guys and obvious bad guys, but after playing for a while, things aren't as clear cut, and you have to make some pretty difficult calls. Now after each shift, you pay a visit to your boss for a quick chat about your day. If you repeatedly respond in a negative manner, he will begin to notice that you aren't enjoying your job. And when that happens, a familiar face will cross your desk. So if you keep moaning about your new job, you'll be given the choice to end your own life. And if you choose that route, the game will take you back to the main menu, ending the game. If you choose to live, the game will of course carry on as normal. It's a pretty clever detail that a lot of people may have missed. Now, a couple of months ago, we discovered that shooting your gun in the shop in Enter the Gungeon would cause the shopkeeper to take pretty decisive action. Well, this person commented on that video and said it was possible to survive the angry shopkeeper's attack. So that's what I tried to do. And that's when this happened. So if you manage to avoid the shopkeeper's bullets, he will teleport you out of the room and take all of his stock with him in the process, meaning you can't buy anything for the rest of that run. Oh, and something else that didn't happen when I originally covered this detail was the shopkeeper threatening to double his prices. Well, it turns out he wasn't bluffing. A health heart normally costs 30 shells, but if you annoy the shopkeeper, he will double the price to 60 shells. Which is really cool. Up next is Funko Fusion. Now, when Funko Fusion was first announced, I was hoping for an Easter egg goldmine. I mean, a game that's going to feature campaigns based on various famous franchises, what's not to love? Well, it turns out there is a lot not to love. Funko Fusion might just be one of the most frustrating games I've ever played. Every level's objective is ridiculously vague, and it's hard to explain, but the game just feels soulless, like it's not finished. Still, I struggled through in the hopes of finding something cool, and I think I did that. Here is what a standard Funko Pop looks like in-game, and despite doing a lot of things wrong, the game does nail the look of the Funkos, which, let's face it, should be expected. Anyway, if you jump from high enough, this will happen. So your Funko will squish down to what is basically a giant head with legs, before popping back to normal size a few seconds later. Don't get me wrong, this isn't a reason for you to buy the game, but I think it's pretty cool. Oh, and something else that I loved was the melee weapon that Danny from Hot Fuzz would use. Of course, Hot Fuzz is part of the Cornetto trilogy, along with Shaun of the Dead and The World's End, and Danny can be seen eating a Cornetto in Hot Fuzz. Well, the melee weapon that Danny uses in Funko Fusion is a Cornetto, which is brilliant.
Do you want anything from the shop?
Cornetto.
Now, I've said before that one of the best things about Portal 2 is Wheatley, and today's detail further hammers that point home. During Chapter 8, it's revealed that Wheatley really enjoys it when you solve his puzzles. And I mean he really enjoys it.
You have no idea what it's like in this body. I have to test all the time, or I get this itch, you know? It must be hardwired into the system or something. Oh, but I tell you, when I do test, oh man alive, nothing feels better. It's just, that's why I've got to test. That's why I've got to test.
With that in mind, when you approach the first puzzle of Chapter 8, if you refuse the very simple task of pressing the red button, Wheatley will begin to get annoyed.
Designed this test myself. It's a little bit difficult. You'll notice the moat area there, very deadly, extremely dangerous. Eventually, it's not at the moment, but I'm working on it, still working on it. Impossible, as it is to imagine, there actually is a solution, devilishly hidden. I'll give you a hint. Button. That's all I'm going to say, one word, button. Go on. Go on. Come on, solve it. Solve it. Solve it! Commanding voice. Oh, yes! Oh, well done. Oh, that's tremendous.
Like I said, Wheatley is one of the best things about Portal 2, and huge credit has to go to Stephen Merchant for his excellent performance as the psychotic AI. So that's it. If you know of any cool things in games that you think I should check out, then please leave them down in the comments. Big or small, obvious or not obvious. If I think it's cool, I'll include it in the video, and of course credit you like these people here. As always, thank you all for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon.